Ooh, well, I just had a fight to pull these iris apart. Look at this. That's incredible. These things did not have this kind of root system on them when I planted them. Anyway, I'm gonna try to get these in the ground quick. This little guy had some mushrooms popping up right at the base. So I've got four groups here to get planted. I'm gonna plant them right here. Okay, so I just unpotted my columbine and I'm kind of having some mixed feelings about putting it in the ground because they have much less developed root systems compared to the iris. You can tell it's got a little taproot going. Some of these are a little bigger than others. Let's see, this first one had a more significant taproot right there. So I don't know, I'm kind of feeling mixed about whether to get this in the ground or give it another year in a pot. I guess I'll try putting it in the ground. We're getting rain tonight. I'll just have to babysit them and keep an eye on them. Wish them luck. Okay, iris and columbine are in the ground. Wish them luck. They're all watered in. There's one tucked back there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. These two kind of caught the edge of the iris, but I started worrying that they're not going to get enough water back as close as they are to the house with those shallow root systems. 2 plants down, or two species down. On to the rest. I just unpotted my Oregon Sunshine, and we'll see if I'm able to extricate these without killing them before getting them in the ground. Okay, so I'm gonna stop for the day right here. I got all this stuff watered in. I left some space right in here for some more Oregon Sunshine because I think I'll have enough extra. So these are not very evenly spaced, unfortunately, and I don't think they're all going to make it either because the roots are really root bound and getting them apart was an effort. But we'll see how they do. In any case, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 roughly. This one was very small. Got them watered in, got them tamped in. Like I said, I'll probably do one right there in that gap in the front here a little bit later. But I'm hoping as these fill in, they'll be less obvious. But yeah, that's what we got done today. Oregon Sunshine, iris, and columbine. Here is my forecast for the next 10 days. Tonight, looks like pretty soon we should be getting some rain. Some rain tomorrow. I'm going to try to use, so I just got some plants planted right before this rain event. And it looks like we'll be getting about a 1/4 inch between tonight and tomorrow. Then during the weekend, Friday, Saturday, we'll get some sun. I'll try to get most of the stuff in at that point to catch this rain event, which should be, looks like another 1/4 inch that night. So 2 planting days with about a 1/2 inch of rain. It's not the most rain in the world, but it will hopefully get everything nice and moist and settled in and give things a chance to grow while the temperatures are still in the range where they can put on a little bit of root mass and a little bit of growth. So that's the hope. Okay, so this is the milkweed pot. They're dying back, and I was like, oh, I wonder if there will be any roots for me to see. And I was looking at the side, I was like, uh-oh, there's not a whole lot of root development. But then I got down to the bottom. Oh, I think my shadow's in the way, but look at all this. They definitely tap their roots deep instead of out. So we'll see how I'm able to extricate all this mess. Neat, so you could see they're buried up, there's a good inch, but then they start building up this taproot that just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. That is pretty cool. That's neat to see. Well, it sure doesn't look like much, but I got the milkweed planted from here. Kind of goes zoop, zoop, zoop. And then I have the big salvaged roots over there. So hopefully the big ones will come up as these ones get established over here. So we'll see. Milkweed is done. Oregon geranium is going in the hole here behind the Oregon Sunshine. Well, I brought out all the pots to plant tomorrow. Since tomorrow will be the big day, I might try to plant a few of these tonight. Maybe I'll plant a few of the checker mallow. The ones that I have to split up, like the Oregon Sunshine and the fescue, I'm gonna wait because I don't want them, if I'm gonna separate them, I want to be able to stick them right in a hole, and they'll require multiple holes being dug. So anyway, that's roughly the way things are going to be laid out. Hopefully we'll get it all done tomorrow. Meadow checker mallow is going to go into that hole there. I was worried this meadow checker mallow may also be root bound, and it's a little bit tight, but not too bad. So I'm relieved about that. Not too many lateral roots either. I'll break it apart and stick it in the ground. I've started moving on to some of the salvaged checker mallow. These got a nice, well-developed root system, and you can see all these little fresh guys popping out the side. So that's going to go right here into this hole next to its buddy. Okay, I think I'm going to call it for tonight. Got the meadow checker mallow in, did not do the camas. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 checker mallow planted, milkweed planted, other stuff is laid out. Didn't get any of this middle section done, but I did get the Oregon geranium right there, so yeah, you can kind of start to get a sense of what it's going to look like. I'm wanting to get a mulch on here once I get everything planted up. Finding some more Italian arum corms and little stray bulblets that I left behind last spring, but hopefully as I'm putting things in the ground, I'm getting most of the stragglers. I'm sure there will be some stuff popping up next year, but oh well, I guess I knew it was going to be an ongoing battle. But it's starting to feel good, looking like stuff is in. I'm going to get things watered in, and then I'll call it a night. Well, it's the next morning, and I was just starting to plant my little checker mallow, and I dug this hole here, but then I had to start excavating horizontally because I found all these sprouting arum corms. A whole little bunch of them. So I used my little digger tool and tried to knock around in there and get out as many as I could. I think I got just about all of them, but it has me a little bit nervous. So we'll see how it goes. I'll get the checker mallow in there and hopefully not have too much of an issue this next spring. Okay, I got my little drift of rosy checker mallow done onto the Oregon Sunshine, which I'm gonna have kind of cupping the edge here. Alright, well, separating Oregon Sunshine was difficult. Some of them did a better job and a worse job of preserving the roots, but we'll see how it goes. I think I'm gonna have these 5 come in like this, and then there are 2 more, one's here and one's here, so I'll get those planted up. Alright, I got this little drift of Oregon Sunshine done. Now I just gotta get that one and that one in the ground over here. Yay, Oregon Sunshine drift number 2 complete. I was gonna try to do the lupin, but I think I'm gonna try to separate the fescue and lay it out in the places that I want it, because I kind of want a little trio right there in the front, so I figured it'd probably be easier to separate and place where I want these and do those, and then tackle the lupin over there. At first I was like, oh, these aren't so root bound, but this whole thing is like a little, it's like a little jute mat of root fibers. So I feel bad about that. I guess these things want to send the roots down. The sides didn't look too bad, but at the bottom, so they really must have been trying to anchor down deep. Hopefully now that once I get these apart and in the ground, hopefully they'll be able to continue doing that. And once I got that bottom mat off, they all kind of unrolled. I kind of used the tool to jab in the middle and separate it open, and then it kind of peeled open, and then they each kind of peeled apart. So I think I'm gonna have one here, here, and here, kind of tucked in around the rock pile. Then I'm gonna have, at first I was gonna just have a trio, but I might have like a triangle with one in the middle there. I think I'm gonna have this little guy over capping off the end of the Oregon Sunshine, and this one nestled here in this spot between the rock and the stump. So I'll get those planted in. Alright, got all the fescue in now. It's kind of funny because they looked really full and lovely when they were separated into clumps, and then I get them in the ground and they all like pinch together as I tamp them down, and they look itty-bitty and like, I don't know, pathetic. But got one there, got one there. So hopefully they'll fill out. Making progress. Alright, I got the lupin in the ground right here. I think that one might be the only one that pulls through. We'll see. But these two, I put one in right here as well. And this one especially looked like it had like rotted out or something. And it may have, but the root ball was really small. There had been a plant, the plant died back. I thought it just died back from the fall, but then this guy had like a second flush of growth. Anyway, so I'm not really too sure about those two. But they're in the ground now. And I was just gonna say that aside from the camas, which I'm gonna put some camas in right here and then back in that corner over there, aside from getting the camas in the ground, everything's planted up. And the only thing I have left to do after the camas will be to come through with the extra seed I have and direct seed this. And I might try to spread some bark chips over it too. Yeah, so we'll see. Also gotta water it in. But it feels really good. I'm feeling like wow, I'm almost there. So it's exciting. And I think I kind of planted densely, probably too densely. I think some of these things might grow a little big, but hopefully it'll be okay. I'm hoping they'll cover up more ground over time to help exclude weeds. So we'll see how it goes. I also heard that sometimes having good root competition helps things from getting tall and then flopping over. So we'll see. Just got to do the camas and then I'll get the seeds out here. Wow, that was a little unexpected. I just tossed the camas pot upside down thinking I would pick the bulbs out, but look at these camas roots. There must be quite a vigorous bulb right there. So I feel bad about disrupting some of these root systems, but I think the bulbs would do better in the ground. Well, I ended up using the shovel because the bulbs were a little bigger than I thought they would be, and that tool wasn't jamming into the ground hard enough. So anyway, put that in, tip up, roots down like that, and I'll bury it back up. Okay, I went through my pots of salvaged camas and I did not remember having this much. But anyway, some of it are larger bulbs like this that have some good roots still attached, but a lot of them were like littler bulbs, and some of them look like they had started to divide a little bit, which is good. So I kind of have bulbs of all size. Everything's all planted up. Time to get the seeds in and water everything in. But I got the seeds planted here, right where where the starts were already put in. And I did get a quick layer of mulch over the top of it. So here's what it's looking like now. Some of these blank areas where lupin or camas might be, especially camas since it's a bulb and is only up for part of the year, I may plant other annuals on top of, like sea blush, bluehead gilia, some of those things. But there we are. That's what it's looking like about 10 months from the idea to execution. It's kind of amazing to see everything in the ground. I was realizing, I think if I had bought everything from a store, assuming they were cheap and only $3 a piece, it still probably would have been a few $100 here. Yay! It's done! Now we just gotta watch it grow and fill in.